Stables, An Incomplete Story by Jack Scott, the Maribyrnong Spectator. Tucked quietly into the Maribyrnong River corridor, the Dale Stables are commonly described as one of few remaining historic stable complexes associated with the horse training industry linked to Flemington Racecourse. This description appears across public-facing material, online summaries and tourism listings, and forms the basis of the site's heritage significance. There is no dispute that horses were kept here at various times, nor that the site holds cultural value connected to Maribyrnong's long racing history. However, a closer look at the building itself raises a reasonable question. Does the current heritage narrative fully explain what this structure was used for over time? This is not an attempt to rewrite history. It's a simple inquiry into whether the public story is complete. Public descriptions typically frame the Dale Stables as a historic horse stable complex associated with early settlers and the Dale family, linked to the broader racing and training activity around Flemington. A surviving example of stabling infrastructure in inner Melbourne. These summaries are brief and largely focus on function rather than form. A walk around and limited view into the interior of the building reveals several features that are worth documenting. Inside the main structure, the layout consists of a long central aisle with individual stalls arranged along both sides. The flooring is brick throughout, and the roof structure allows light to enter from high clerestory openings at one end. However, not all stalls appear the same. At least one internal section shows timber surfaces that are noticeably darker or greyed compared to others, suggesting either different treatments, different periods of use, or exposure to heat or smoke at some point. The contrast is visible rather than inferred. At the front portion of the building, a chimney and flue are present. Fireplaces are uncommon in traditional horse stables, particularly in structures designed to house multiple animals due to heat, ventilation and fire risk. The presence of a chimney does not on its own indicate how it was used, but it is a feature that is not explained in public descriptions. Ventilation throughout the structure also appears limited. When compared with typical working stables, low-level airflow openings are minimal, and while roof ventilation exists, it's modest for a building that would otherwise heat significantly during summer months. This raises questions about comfort and suitability for housing larger numbers of horses over extended periods. Externally, the rear of the building is sealed by a brick wall with no secondary exit. In many stable designs, through access in common to allow movement, cleaning and emergency egress. Its absence here may be intentional, but again, it's unexplained. Notably, there are no visible toilet or washroom facilities attached to the structure, despite its scale and apparent capacity. Metal conduit piping is visible running along internal walls, leading to switch-like fittings. While electrical installations are not unusual in historic buildings that have been adapted over time, their placement and form do not obviously align with original stable fittings and may indicate later modification. The Dale Stables sit within land historically associated with the broader Maribyrnong Defence Precinct, a site that housed a wide range of military, logistical and industrial functions over many decades. Given this wider context, it would not be unusual for buildings in the area to have experienced multiple uses, adaptations or temporary repurposing across their lifespan. Yet this broader historical setting is rarely mentioned in connection with the Dale Stables themselves. Historic photographs displayed at or near the site show groups of harness racing figures posed in front of the building. Some individuals familiar with the racing industry have since stated that they do not recall such photographs being taken at the Dale Stables, nor wearing racing silks at that location, Whether these images are symbolic, composite, or simply misattributed is unclear, but the uncertainty itself highlights how easily representation can outpace documentation. None of these observations prove alternative uses of the building. They do, however, justify asking reasonable, non-confrontational questions. Were the Dale stables used exclusively for housing horses throughout their existence, or did the function change over time? Are features such as the chimney, internal finishes and electrical fittings documented in heritage records? Have alterations or adaptations been recorded, and if so, for what purpose? Is the current heritage description intended as a complete account or a simplified one? Should the site's place within the former defence precinct be more clearly acknowledged in its interpretation? Heritage is strongest when it is transparent. Asking questions does not diminish a site's value, it strengthens it. A fuller, more nuanced account of the Dale stables would not erase their connection to horse culture, but rather situate it within a richer and more accurate historical landscape.